I loved you in silence, longer than they've loved you out loud. I didn't lose you. You left where I was still waiting. You never lied, but you never stayed either. I begged the universe to unlove you. It refused. I wasn't asking for forever, just honesty. You felt like a lesson I wasn't ready to survive. I broke my own heart trying to protect yours. You ghosted me, but your silence screams louder than you ever did. I still dream of the goodbye you never gave me. I'd rather hurt with the truth than heal with your lie. Some souls meet just to awaken the ache. I loved you in every timeline, but this one broke me. I saw forever in you. You saw an exit. You said I was too much. I was just enough for the right one. You didn't ruin me. You revealed me. Even your silence had sharp edges. I miss who I thought you were. I kept forgiving what I never deserved. You left holes in me only truth could fill. Love didn't fail us. Ego did. My soul still whispers your name when I'm strong enough not to. I prayed for you. The answer was no. We weren't toxic. We were unfinished. I knew you weren't mine, but my heart didn't. You didn't break my heart. You woke it up. Your absence is louder than your presence ever was. I asked for peace, but the universe sent you. I wasn't healing, I was hiding. Loving you felt like holding lightning. You weren't my person, you were my mirror. We met in this life to untangle what we couldn't in the last. You didn't lie, you just didn't love me enough to tell the truth. Your love felt like a spell I never broke. Even now, my shadow looks for yours. I left the door open for closure. You never knocked. I begged the stars to help me forget you. They whispered, "Not yet." We said goodbye, but our energy still lingers. I trusted the red flags because they looked like love in the dark. Your name is still soft in my mouth, even when I try to spit it out. The version of me who loved you died beautifully. I felt safest in your chaos. That was the danger. Your silence was louder than every goodbye I've ever heard. I mourn the future we never made. I wanted a partner. You wanted a witness. You didn't choose me. That truth set me free. I kept waiting for you to choose me. You chose silence. You touched me like you owned me, then left like you never knew me. You called it love. I called it survival. You didn't break me. You uncovered me. I was your safe place until you needed someone else to run to. I didn't fall in love. I fell into a lesson. You were never coming back. I just couldn't accept it. Some hearts are homes. Yours was a haunted house. You made me question my worth to avoid facing your guilt. I forgive you, but my soul doesn't forget. You touched my soul, then vanished like a ghost. My intuition screamed louder than your love ever did. I outgrew you in silence. You said I was too emotional. My heart called that passion. You held me like a promise, left me like a secret. We almost had forever, almost still haunts me. Your version of love felt like war. I didn't want perfect, I just wanted real. I was building forever. You were planning your exit. Your absence taught me self-love. You broke me open so the light could get in. You were the lesson I begged the universe not to teach me. I thought you were my person. Turns out I was mine. You looked like destiny, but felt like déjà vu. The universe kept trying to show me your truth. I kept loving your potential. Your goodbye was the kindest thing you never said. I kept loving the memory. You moved on from the moment. I begged for signs. The silence was one. I stopped chasing what never tried to stay. We didn't end, we unraveled. You taught me how to live without what I thought I'd die without. I confused intensity for intimacy. Your love wasn't mine to keep. Some people don't leave, they echo. I stopped bleeding over someone who wasn't even bruised. If this touched your soul, don't scroll, like, comment your favorite quote, and subscribe for more. You abandoned me gently, like you hoped I wouldn't notice. I gave you loyalty, you gave me lessons. You weren't cold, you were calculated. Your love was a season. I stayed like it was forever. I unlearned you one heartbreak at a time. You didn't want me, you wanted control. You apologized with your eyes, not your actions. I kept watering dead things. You left, but my body still waits for your touch. I made excuses for you while you made exits from me. You didn't love me, you loved how I loved you. I wasn't difficult, I was deeply feeling. Your absence feels safer than your presence ever did. I became my own closure. You tasted like comfort and chaos. I miss you, but not how you made me feel. My heart was never too much. It just didn't fit your capacity. I was an open book. You skimmed the cover. You weren't confused. You were just never committed. You let me fall while calling it freedom. I begged for clarity. You gave me confusion. You fed me dreams while you fed others your truth. We didn't break, we dissolved. You adored my light, but feared my depth. I kept trying to heal you while I was bleeding. You were never emotionally unavailable. You were just unavailable to me. I wasn't hard to love. You were unready to receive. Your silence taught me everything your words couldn't. I stopped texting first, and the relationship stopped existing. I miss the idea of you more than the reality. You were chaos dressed in charm. I didn't lose you. I released you. You were never mine to begin with. I stayed out of loyalty, not love. You were emotionally homeless. I tried to be your shelter. You said forever like it was disposable. We were fire and gasoline, and I kept lighting the match. You healed by moving on. I healed by falling apart. I loved you through your damage. You left me with mine. You kept me as an option while I saw you as fate. I fell in love with the version of you that never existed. I kept your secrets while you buried mine. Your silence was the answer I didn't want. You left like I meant nothing after I loved you like you were everything. I didn't miss the red flags. I just wanted them to be wrong. You left me with echoes instead of explanations. You called me crazy for reacting to your cruelty. I blamed myself for the pain you planted. You were never gone. You just disappeared emotionally first. I kept forgiving you, hoping you'd eventually choose me. You didn't need space. You needed someone else. I loved you more than I respected myself. You said, "I'll never hurt you," then became the pain. I was holding on while you were letting go in secret. You called it closure. I called it abandonment. I wasn't too sensitive. You were too careless. I stopped being your mirror. You stopped loving me. You said, "I love you," like a promise, but kept it like a secret. I mistook your attention for affection. I was loyal to someone who was never real. You knew how to touch me, but not how to hold me. I saw eternity. You saw entertainment. You were gentle with my body, but rough with my soul. I built a home inside you. You locked me out. You left me mid-healing and blamed me for the blood. I gave you everything. You gave me silence. I buried versions of myself trying to love you right. You didn't leave for peace. You left for convenience. I was your soft place. You were my breaking point. I trusted you with my wounds. You reopened them. I loved you in your chaos. You left when I found calm. You made me doubt my own love. I craved your presence like oxygen. You never meant to stay. I never meant to let go. I didn't want forever, just the truth. You confused control with care. You admired me, but never valued me. I kept holding on because I didn't want to believe you were gone. You watched me drown while holding the rope. I gave you access to places you didn't earn. You kept me close enough to need me, far enough to never love me. You weren't my soulmate, you were my soul lesson. Your exit taught me self-respect. I stopped begging, that's when you noticed. I held space for you while you made room for someone else. You got over me faster than I could forgive you. I offered depth. You wanted distraction. You left a storm behind and called it healing. You shattered my peace and blamed me for the mess. You only loved me when I was hurting. I believed in your potential. You exploited my patience. I trusted the wrong version of you. You loved the idea of me, not the truth of me. I was your escape. You were my prison. I made excuses for your patterns. You took advantage of my empathy. I stopped crying when I realized you weren't coming back. You called it love. I call it survival mode. I gave you the light. You burned it. You stayed long enough to leave damage. I finally chose myself and lost you in the process. You took more than you gave. I begged God to erase you gently. You ghosted me, but haunt me in dreams.